Well, I got some main jets for the carburetor. They're 48 and 55 is the size of the jets, and this is where I got them from. And I got some this is what the clock uses. So I put a new bulb in the clock. Yeah, it was definitely fried. And I'll do the radio when that bulb is way up in there when I do the padded dash and restore the dash. I'll put a new bulb up in there. So I'm popped the top of the carburetor off so I can change the main jets, and it looks like the float level is just a tad low, so I'll adjust the float level wet before I put the top back on. I'm going to pull the float out because the main jets are just underneath there. And I actually, in case if I tore the gasket, I bought a carb kit that comes with new floats. It never hurts to have some extra floats, yeah. So this kit comes with floats, so if it ever needs floats or rebuilt because a float sunk, I'll just put this on the shelf if I don't need it. But it's always good to have I always have an extra carb kit or two for that, and I have the correct carter rebuilt for it, plus an extra carb kit for that carburetor too. So let me it has a Rochester Ford jet on it now, and it originally had a Carter, and it runs good with the Rochester, so I just leave it on there. But anyway, let me get this float out and I'll change these mains. There, they got the primary float out, and now you can see the mains, and I'm gonna pop them out. There are two different sizes, and I think these are two. I can see that one's larger than that one. Just you probably can too in the video, but they're going to get replaced with the correct size. The primaries are supposed to be number 48. I don't know if that shows up on that or not, but they're both number 48 jets. These are the original jets. They're both number 50. So I'm thinking that you know, I just want it to the factory specs. These cars were designed to run, engineered to run a certain way with certain jets in the carburetor, and I find when you set them up factory specs, they run their best. So I'm gonna just save these ones, set them aside. Who knows, you know, number 50, might want them back in there. We'll see. There, now you can see in there without the jets in the little holes. Throw the new ones in. Well, now I'll put the float back in, and we'll call a primary done and hit the secondary. Now I got the secondary float out, and time to change those two mains. Well, one of them was correct. One of them was a 55. The other one's a 52. So there's a 52 and a 55 on the secondaries, and they're both supposed to be 55. So let's put the new jets in the rear now. Both floats are in now. Wet float, which means with gas in the float bowls, they're 0.91 inches, and usually it's from this end of the float to the body with the gasket on it. So I'm just gonna set the gasket there, and I might just turn the engine over, get some gas. It may start, just get some gas so the bowls are full and these needles are clean, then we'll go from there. Well, I was just I don't know if the gas is evaporated out of the bowl, but 0.910 is like 29-30 seconds, and that gas is almost touching the ruler there, but it's not here because I think this float is not seated. This one is. So that one might be right, but this one, I'm gonna just crank the motor and get some gas up in there and then measure it. So I just put the carburetor top on with the stud, just, you know, if I loosen up the stud right here, carburetor top just sitting there just so gas doesn't go flying everywhere. And the choke is not hooked up, it's just bound on. So I'm just not even gonna step on the accelerator. I'm just gonna turn the key, and hopefully it'll start. If not, I'll just crank it until it has a little bit of fuel pressure to fill the bowls up. Again, I'm not touching the accelerator or anything, I'm just turning the key. That's idling dead cold with no choke, and I just wanted to run it long enough to fill the float bowls up, so hopefully that was long enough. And it might retain a little fuel pressure while it's yeah, see, now the float bowls are right up full, so I can get my thing here set up for 29-30 seconds. That one's a little deep. So is that one. They're both a little deep. I'm going to measure what they are. They're both about the same. That one's a little, this one's a little deeper. So let me measure see what they're set at right now. Well, they're supposed to be, yeah, I mean, if they're supposed to be 29, and this one is, might just leave them alone. It's almost up to that, which I think, as long as it doesn't go over that cutout, actually I think that's probably good. I think I'll just leave the float levels where they are. The car did run good, but I just wanted the correct size mains in it. Just wanted to show you. So this is set for the dry setting. Whoops. And that's just touching you can see the float just moving, so it might be a tad deep. That one's perfect, spot on the secondary. I mean, that's so minute, I'm not even gonna horse with that. That may, so you can see, if you look at this, that little bit isn't opening the needle. So I'm gonna leave that alone. And it's not flowing between those, because you can see the fuel level. Well, maybe you can't, I don't know. But the fuel level, there's a passage that goes between the two float bowls here. And the fuel just needs to be just a tad below that, and it is. And I'm going to call that good. And this hole is for the hot idle compensator. Sometimes when these cars are hard to start hot in the hot weather, it's because these are bad. It's a little bimetal strip, and as it gets hot, it moves away from there and allows air, vacuum, whoops, to go straight through that hole down into the intake manifold. It bypasses all the jets and everything. It just dumps. It's like having a vacuum leak. It just dumps air into the carburetor. All right, there we go. And I'll get the screws and fasteners and clips and stuff, and the carburetor is going to go back together. It's starting to warm up. Choke's coming off. It runs nice. I got to replace this hose that goes between here and here. It's just broken and rotten, so I'm just gonna hunt up a new one and put it on, and then put the air cleaner back on. But yeah, it runs really nice with those new jets in there. Yeah, the cold light turned off not too long after I started it, but was going to take it out for a ride tonight on Woodward, but no, I don't want to get caught in the rain without a convertible top, so that's not going to happen. Maybe I'll take the Bel Air out, we'll see. I might take this out, but I don't want to get caught in the rain without a top, so this isn't going out cruising tonight. But I wanted to put those main jets, do a few things, odds and ends, before I go out and really cruise. Like I say, when I rebuilt the carburetor, I noticed it had the wrong main jets and two different sized ones in the secondary, so that's all corrected. Everything's set up the way the original carburetor would have been set up from the factory. and it runs nice. Alright, I'm going to turn it off and then go find a piece of hose and go from there. I thought I'd just show you what happens. This is the idle compensator, and like I said, it creates a back. See how that's a bimetal spring on it, opens up, allows a vacuum leak, allows air to go right into the intake manifold. So you got to make sure that that's all good, because that can be a vacuum leak, or if it's not opening up, it'll make an engine very hard to start when it's hot, and it may idle for hot too. So those are important to make sure. So just a little bimetal spring. I fixed the hose here too. It goes for the, that just sucks the air from here through and into the choke. It's just so it gets clean air filtered air through the choke heater and stuff, you know, so you're not sucking dirt in there. It's been sitting here idling for a while. This is the hot end of the radiator, right where the hose comes into the tank. It's about as hot as it gets. Just sitting here idling. There we go, all nicely back together, running good. Actually runs a little better. Alright, good enough. Alright, I'm going to call that good. I'm pretty happy with the way it runs now. And it starts up. Now I let it sit for a while warm too, like half an hour, and it just starts just as easy. Sometimes you got to push the gas a little bit, but that's pretty typical of carbureted cars. When they're warm, they have to push the accelerator a little bit. It does run nice. Alright, that's it for running the car for now. And I've got the bulb for the clock. Can you see? It's still pretty bright in here, but yeah, the clock light works. This is what I was saying, you know, that would normally be stuck in there and would be kind of a same color as the rest of the dash, that kind of blue color, but I'll have to put the new one in there after when I do the dash. That's when I'll put the new one in. I'm just leaving the old one there for now, but there we go. It's pretty much everything's all good on it. Taped up and painted the black in these pieces of trim. These go on the back by the trunk lid. So kind of go like right here. And I'll paint up the inserts on the moldings too. There's actually black and then an aluminum color in there too. So it's three colors: chrome, aluminum, and black. Well, I'm going to finish this video up right here. I just was out here doing a little bit of putzing, and thought I'd change those main jets before I really drive it out on the road. So everything pretty much all I think is ready to where I can take it out and cruise with it. We just need some weather, seeing you know, good weather, so I don't have a top to put up if it get caught in the rain. So that's kind of where we're at. And but basically, you know, if you like the video, definitely hit the like button. It will help, you know, get more views, which gets more advertising, which earns more money. And if you like my channel and want to see this car out cruising, hit that 348 icon and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.